In criminal investigations, when the victim's identity is discovered, it's a major breakthrough. And if the identity of the perpetrator is found, the case can sometimes be solved almost immediately. But what happens when the criminal goes to extreme lengths to hide who they really are? Imagine a perpetrator with 7 different identities, each backed by a convincing story. This is the case of the 7-faced murderer.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. How can you even keep up with 7 different identities? Is this the lady you were talking about that's like Rotten Mango? Yeah. How do you even keep up with 7 different identities? That's my question. I got 2 identities, VexReacts and John Joseph. I barely keep up with that one. How do you keep up with 7 identities? Like, what if somebody come up to you and just say your name and it's not your name? It's like one of your 7 names. Like, hell no, that's too much, bro. That, like, it's not even worth it at that point.
Japan's first criminal to ever have a bounty placed on her head, Fukuda Kazuko.
Off topic, but her hair is super pretty. The lady with 7 identities or the person doing the video, Megan? Dark Asia with Megan. The killer? Megan, oh, okay.
In 1982, a woman's body was discovered, buried on a mountain in Matsuyama City, Japan.
Dang.
The victim had been strangled, and it was clear from the start that this was a murder case.
Damn.
Identifying her wasn't difficult since she was buried close to her home. As police began their investigation, they noticed her belongings were missing, and the case was classified as a robbery, murder, and abandonment. The victim was known as the top hostess at a local bar. She had been strangled, but other than the mark around her neck, there were no other signs of trauma.
Dang.
The police questioned her family, friends, and coworkers, but none of it brought any new information to light. A few days later, something strange happened. The victim's father was alerted to suspicious activity in her bank account. Someone had tried to withdraw money.
Already a red flag. If you do something like that, you cannot try and get money out somebody's account. Like, that's literally, like, you don't think they could track that? You don't think they go figure something out? You don't think they go think something suspicious?
Which raised alarms because his daughter was obviously no longer alive. He reported this to the police, who quickly started investigating the account. Around the same time, the victim's lover informed the authorities that some things were missing from their shared room, prompting further investigation.
Oh.
Initially, the police thought the perpetrator had slipped away under the cover of night, but then a key witness, the apartment staff, reported seeing 3 men and a woman loading furniture into a rental truck. This was a major breakthrough, as it allowed the police to track the truck using its license plate.
Dang. See, the crazy thing is, like, it don't matter what you do. Like, if you murder somebody, it's always gonna be like trail behind you, bro. Like, you gotta leave the least amount of, and I'm not trying to show y'all how to get away with murder, because I don't know how. I ain't never done it. I don't ever plan to. But I'm saying, like, it's always gonna be a trail, and you gotta minimize the trail, bro. Like, that's the hard part. And especially in 2024, but going into 2025, the technology's so crazy. Like, they literally got, like, crazy facial recognition stuff. Like, it's just, you might as well not even do nothing, bro. They go catch you.
From there, they traced the rental records and found a name connected to the case. Armed with this information, they paid a visit to the renter's family home to begin questioning.
Okay.
When the police arrived, Kazuko Fukuda's husband greeted them at the door. During the interview, he shockingly confessed that he was the one who buried the body on the mountain.
What?
But he claimed he did so under Kazuko's orders.
No.
As soon as Kazuko heard the police were coming, she fled the house, taking a taxi under a false name, and thus began her life on the run.
No, bro. I couldn't do no life on the run, bro. A life on the run is not a life that is worth living at all, bro. Because, like, how long do you plan to run for? Like, you gonna run for your entire life? That gotta be stressful. I like to chill in the crib.
Kazuko's details, her appearance, height, and other identifying features were broadcast nationwide, and she was officially wanted for
Nationwide?
murder and abandoning a corpse. Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
As the case dragged on and the media coverage intensified, Kazuko's attitude became more daring. But before we jump into the chase, let's take a look at Kazuko's life leading up to this point. Kazuko Fukuda was born on January 2nd, 1948, in Matsuyama, Japan.
Dang.
Her early life was far from easy. Her mother reportedly ran a brothel out of their apartment.
Out the apartment, nigga? You couldn't get no little shed or something? The basement? Out the apartment? Nah, that's crazy. Nigga, and if you running a brothel out the apartment, like, you couldn't get some of the money from the brothel and only run it for like a month and then be like, I don't want this around the kids. What the hell?
And there's little information available about her father. It's believed that her parents divorced, and her father
Well, if the mama running a brothel out the apartment, I could see why he wouldn't want to be with her. Am I tripping? It's all adding up right now.
available about her father. It's believed that her parents divorced, and her father disappeared shortly after. Kazuko's childhood was unstable, as she and her mother moved frequently before her mother remarried a fisherman. During her high school years, Kazuko fell in love with a classmate, but tragedy struck when he was killed in a car accident.
Bro,
This
that gotta
loss
hurt.
deeply affected Kazuko, and she dropped out of school, emotionally scarred by both the death of her boyfriend and the abusive environment at home.
Yeah.
The dream of having a stable family shattered, as her parents' arguments became a nightly occurrence, making home life unbearable.
Bro, I hate when people have to go through stuff like that because it's like sometimes, and I hate when because it's like you can't get therapy for certain stuff, but like in certain people's life, whenever you got an unstable home, a lot of people try to find that love elsewhere outside of their home. And then whenever they go through heartbreak or somebody die or they lose somebody, it hurt them even more because they feel like everybody that I touch or everybody I get around is chaos. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to be around nobody. They isolate, and then it hurts more that they got to isolate and they feel like they can't be around nobody, you know? It's just, I hate that. I remember being in high school, and it's crazy to think that people really die at all ages. But I remember being in high school, and like it would be certain girls, their boyfriend would die like on like an ATV or something like that. And it was like, you could tell it really, really hit them hard. You know, somebody that you spend so much time with, somebody that you care at such a young age, like literally not there no more. So I always would be like, I don't know how they're going to be able to date again. Like, and it's like, obviously, or not even obviously, sometimes they're able to date again. But I feel like whenever you go through something that tragic, it's never going to be the same because you don't want to get too attached to somebody in fear of losing them, you know?
Eventually, she ran away. In 1966, at the age of 18, Kazuko's life took a darker turn when she was imprisoned for robbing the home of a high-ranking official in Japan's tax agency. While serving her sentence, she became embroiled in what's now known as the Matsuyama prison incident. Despite being housed in separate
I have been at that state, and it really sucks at that time. Hope no one have to experience that ever. Facts. And if you do have to experience that, understand that the world, God, he not punishing you. Like, sometimes things just unfortunate. That's just how it is. And I know it kind of could feel like it's only happening to you because the norm is like a lot of people kind of sell like life is supposed to be easy or that type of stuff don't happen often, but that type of stuff do happen more often than you think. It's just not super publicized. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't want to talk about that because when you talk about it, it feel like you're reliving it, and it's just like, you know, traumatic things happen all of the time. Like people just don't like post about it like on social media, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. And I feel like that's why I enjoy doing like the Rotten Mango videos, because it could allow me to expound on things that some people go through, tougher things, you know, to expose people to like how cruel the world can be, and try to hopefully motivate people to, you know, get up out of that situation or try to, you know, shed light on stuff like that, you know?
quarters, male and female inmates
What?
could still interact in certain areas of the prison,
No.
and Kazuko, along with other women, was sexually assaulted by
Facts.
male prisoners
Me too. I learned a
who
lot through
bribed
these.
the guards. The predators later took their own lives. After serving 2 years, Kazuko was released at 20 and soon married her first husband, though the marriage only lasted 5 years. In 1974, Kazuko
Hold up, y'all know, even though this a murder mystery, y'all know I gotta pause when the food come up. This look good. This look good. Whenever I grow up, I want my family to eat at the table. I feel like that's a thing that like I haven't experienced in a while. But I feel like eating at the table is it should be like a household tradition, because even though I know you want to watch YouTube or you want to do that and stuff like that, I feel like on the weekends, people should be able to eat on their own. During the week, we should eat at the table type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because when you eat at the table, everybody could talk. You get closer to people. Y'all might have arguments here and there, but you need those arguments to grow closer. Like, especially as a family, you know what I'm saying? Like, it build manners. Like, you could look people in the eye and feel that closeness, you know? Like, when I grow up, I want to have, dinner at the table.
Though the marriage only lasted 5 years. In
Food looking good as hell.
1974, Kazuko remarried, and she and her second husband had 4 children.
Dang.
After a childhood filled with trauma, including being in close proximity to a brothel, surviving sexual assault in prison, and enduring other hardships, Kazuko Fukuda finally seemed to have found some stability.
That's good.
She was living with her family, enjoying life. Well, for
I don't
a while.
remember the last time I ate at
But
the table.
Kazuko's taste for luxury quickly spiraled out of control. She lived far beyond her means, shopping for expensive clothes, bags, and other high-end items.
Y'all got to get out of the habit of just buying. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Like, don't be a person who just spend all of your money. Be appreciative of the stuff that you have and, spoil yourself from time to time. But materialistic things only last as long as, you know what I'm saying, a week, as long as you feeling it. And then next thing you know, you're on the next shiny item. You get one ring, you love it. Then you see another ring, you want that one. Then that ring that the new ring that you got, make the old ring collect dust. Like, you got to catch yourself.
In front of friends and acquaintances, she would boast about coming from a wealthy family, putting on the facade of a lady of fortune.
While she
She
capping.
spent her days partying and gambling.
Does this apply for K-pop albums? Only if your K-pop albums collect dust. If you gonna pull out the photo cards and stuff like that to show them off, or if you go flip through the photo cards and you gonna actually play the songs that you get from the albums, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on the intention. If you buying them to support, that's a whole different story. But a lot of people don't buy Gucci to support Gucci. Gucci is good. Gucci got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, they buy a Gucci because they want to look expensive, and then they old Gucci just sit there in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be smarter with how you spend money. That's all I'm saying. Like, make sure that you're straight. Make sure that you're straight.
But as her luck ran out, she found herself in a serious financial crisis.
She tweaking.
To maintain her lavish lifestyle, Kazuko borrowed money from multiple sources, including loan sharks, until her debt ballooned to a crippling 2 million yen.
How much is that?
Desperate to...
I was about to say 2 million. I seen 2 million. How much is 2 million yen? Can somebody let me know in the chat?
money from multiple sources.
Don't start borrowing money, bro. That's the worst thing you could do.
Until her debt ballooned to a crippling 2 million yen.
The only time you should ever borrow money is if you go borrow money. I gotta Google it. Definitely Google it. Let me know, please. The only time you should borrow money is if you go use that money to make more money. Or you go use that money on a business. That's the only time you should borrow money. Never borrow money, because you're going to always have to pay it back. And if you borrowing money to spend it, how are you going to pay it back? Don't put yourself in debt, because you're going to have to, like, anytime you put yourself in debt, $13,000, that ain't crazy. That ain't crazy. I know some people with way worse, bro. I be watching these videos on TikTok, y'all, and these people be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, still like spending money that they don't got, bro. Don't put yourself in that position, because you're gonna have to be a slave to get that money. Like, bro, I'm scared to borrow. Just like, it's definitely understandable to be scared, but debt is not bad unless you spend it on stuff that you like. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand that you're gonna have to pay that back. If you go into it with that mindset, you gonna be straight. Now, if you're back against the wall and you have to, you ain't got no money coming in and you have to, do what you gotta do. That's the only time I'll ever say that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to get into your head, I have to live below my means. I have to spend less money than I make. And the only reason you go borrow money is if you go make more money from the money, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you gotta live. If you wanna have a happy life in the end, you know what I'm saying? It's all about how much I'm making, how much I'm spending. Don't go into debt, bro. It's not worth it. You gonna have to become a slave to that debt.
To pay off her debt, she took up work as a cabaret hostess under the alias Hatsumi Takai. In this new world, she quickly became involved in several relationships, trying to secure financial support from wealthy clients.
While she married?
However, the glamorous life she was chasing always seemed just out of reach. Things took a turn when a new hostess, Atsuko Yasuoka, joined the cabaret. Atsuko was everything Kazuko wished she could be: beautiful, elegant, and adored by many.
Dang.
She wore luxurious clothes and carried herself with confidence, quickly rising to become the #1 hostess. Atsuko's cheerful and bubbly personality made her a favorite among clients, allowing her to earn significantly more than Kazuko.
Jealousy.
Watching Atsuko thrive while she herself was drowning in debt only deepened Kazuko's envy.
You gave she literally gave herself the debt. She literally was up here capping the people, talking about I come from a wealthy background. Like, you did not come from a wealthy background. Literally, we just found out about your background and it was the complete opposite of wealthy. Like, bro, literally live a normal life, get your money and make more money until you can live the lavish lifestyle. The problem people have is they want it now. They don't care if they get it the right way. They want it now. And when you want it now, you go get it now. It's just like the old tale of whenever the devil come to you. It's like, we could give you $10 million, but we gonna have your soul. Like, do you really want it that bad that you go give your soul away? And this is literally kind of like selling your soul. You wanted to be rich so bad that you turned yourself into a person you didn't want to be. You gotta rob, you gotta scam. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Now you putting yourself in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta weigh the pros and the cons. Like, am I gonna wait 10 years and be rich? Or am I gonna be rich right now and for 10 years, I gotta work 20 hours out of the 24 hours in a day? Do you wanna work 20 hours out of the 24 hours in a day? Or do you wanna do it the right way, save your money, and then be rich in the end? Buy some property or something. Like, come on. You got to think long term. If you think short term, you going to have long term consequences. If you think long term, you going to have short term consequences. I'm telling you.
Jealousy consumed Kazuko. Why should Atsuko live such a luxurious life, she thought, while Kazuko struggled just to stay afloat? The resentment festered until it became a twisted motivation. She began plotting how she could not only eliminate her competition, but also solve her mounting financial problems. One evening, after work, Kazuko approached Atsuko with a seemingly harmless request. She asked if they could spend time together, mentioning that she admired Atsuko's charm and wanted tips on how to succeed as a hostess. Wanting to be helpful, Atsuko agreed, not knowing she had just set herself on a path that would end in tragedy. On August 19th, 1982, Kazuko visited Atsuko's apartment. The sight of Atsuko's home, filled with simple yet expensive furniture and lavish decorations, ignited Kazuko's jealousy once again. This was the life she dreamed of but could never attain.
And the crazy thing is, from the outside looking in, you think that you want somebody's life and you don't even know what come with that. She could literally be getting beat every day. Like, we don't know people's life, bro. How you gonna judge from the outside and be like, oh, cause she got all this expensive stuff? Like, bro, don't do that, bro. Like,
at some point during the visit, Katsuko snapped. Grabbing a towel, she strangled Atsuko to death in a fit of rage and envy. After the murder, Katsuko returned home and confessed everything to her husband. She convinced him to help her steal Atsuko's belongings from the apartment, telling him it would solve their financial problems. To complete the plan, she even enlisted a relative to rent a moving truck, explaining that her friend needed help relocating. Unbeknownst to her family, this was all part of her plot to erase the evidence of her crime and take over Atsuko's life. It's said that Kazuko took Atsuko's bank information, which included an account with 9 million yen, enough to completely clear her debts. With her husband's help, Kazuko emptied Atsuko's apartment, taking her furniture, clothes, bags, and other personal items. But she didn't steal these things to sell. Her goal was to erase any evidence and make it seem like Atsuko had voluntarily disappeared. In Japan, there is a cultural phenomenon where people sometimes leave their homes in the middle of the night, cutting ties with family and friends to start over somewhere new. This practice often stems from the pressures of Japan's harsh work environments and societal expectations. Kazuko used this idea to craft a cover story, making it appear as though Atsuko had simply walked away from her life. Before Kazuko could carry out her full plan, Atsuko's boyfriend unexpectedly came to the apartment. Panicking, Kazuko pretended to be a new tenant and left a false message, posing as Atsuko. Once the boyfriend was gone...
And you don't think that they was gonna ask the boyfriend, did he see anything suspicious, and this was gonna come up?
Katsuko's husband and their relatives helped move Atsuko's belongings out of the apartment. But Kazuko didn't take Atsuko's things back to her own home. Instead, she stashed everything in an apartment she sometimes used to meet with her lover.
Bro, so you telling me you was in debt? How did you get access to this apartment? Because I know they ain't give it to you for free. There's no way you was in debt and you was paying for another apartment to have sneaky fucking leaks, nigga. This is why you was in debt.
A man who had no idea that Kazuko was married or about her deadly plot. After dropping off the items and saying goodbye to their relatives, Kazuko...
He had to be paying for it. That's the only process. It's no way she paying for this. He got to be paying for this. Her lover got to be paying for this.
After dropping off the items and saying goodbye to their relatives, Kazuko and her husband drove 18 kilometers to Matsuyama Mountain.
And you got to keep in mind, she brought her husband and relatives was the one who was helping her move into this bit. She literally brought all of her family to the spot where she laying another nigga down and doing her dirty business. Crazy work, bro. People wild.
Kazuko and her husband drove 18 kilometers to Matsuyama Mountain. It was there, in a remote area, that they buried Atsuko's body, hoping no one would ever find it. The next day, Kazuko tried to withdraw money from Atsuko's bank account using the stolen passbook. This transaction raised red flags with Atsuko's family, who quickly sensed something was wrong.
Bro, you didn't even wait? You did it the next day after she disappeared?
Soon after, Atsuko's body was discovered. From there, the investigation gained momentum. As I mentioned earlier, the police traced the rental truck, contacted Kazuko's relatives, and eventually tracked down her husband. He was arrested for helping Kazuko cover up the murder and dispose of Atsuko's body. But before his arrest, he made one last attempt to reach out to Kazuko, who was already fleeing to Kanazawa City. He urged her to confess to the police, but Kazuko, determined to stay free, ignored him.
Man, you know, bro, he know she was sleeping with somebody else, bro. Bro, she got y'all to move, like this is not an upstanding woman. She got y'all to move a dead woman's stuff into her lover's apartment. And then when the police was coming, she ran away. You think she gonna turn herself in? Nigga, you crazy. And she killed somebody. Like, come on, bro. I know that the police told her that, told her husband that she killed somebody. Or, like, come on, bro. You think she gonna turn herself in?
Kanazawa, Kazuko adopted a new identity, calling herself Shinobu Onodera. She found work as a hostess at a snack bar, but by this time, the police had already circulated her photo and details nationwide.
Yeah, you can't even get
Fearing
no job.
someone would recognize her, Kazuko made her way to Tokyo, where she underwent cosmetic surgery to alter her appearance. Confident in her new look, she returned to Kanazawa and resumed her life under her false identity.
You went right back to where you was at? No, bro, she get dumber and dumber every time I hear some shit. You supposed to get the plastic surgery and then go somewhere way newer. Like, you're not even supposed to, like, you supposed to leave all that behind. Plastic surgery or not.
She returned to Kanazawa and
you say hiding in plain sight, they literally got like, did y'all see earlier they had like the literal posters of her? You supposed to, like, they got a nationwide everywhere. They telling everybody where you at. You don't think nobody gonna notice your voice? Like, bro, it's an evil world we live in. People gonna find out. K-pop taught me that.
resumed her life under her false identity. But on the 39th day of her fugitive life, things took an unexpected turn.
Uh-oh.
Kazuko was on the phone with her lover, chatting casually about her day.
The same dude? Bro, no.
As the conversation went on,
can't be that
she
good.
started to sense something was off. Eventually, she realized that the police were with her boyfriend.
She gotta be fucking stupid, bro. You kill somebody and you still talking to the boyfriend? The dude you was sleeping with, who you put the dead lady stuff. Oh my gosh, bro. It's making me mad. It's making me mad because, like, you literally, like, if you gonna make a decision like that to kill somebody and you gonna get the plastic surgery, you gotta cut every single tie, every single one. You not staying in the same places as you stayed before. You ain't got no communication with nobody that you had before. Whole new life, bro. What?
Listening in on their call. Realizing the police were tracking her location through her phone, Kazuko came up with a clever trick.
Okay.
She manipulated the signals, making it seem like she was in Kansai instead of Kanazawa. The police, unaware of her deception, followed the false trail to Kansai, fully convinced they were closing in on her. Little did they know they had fallen right into Kazuko's trap, allowing her to stay one step ahead.
Okay.
Time went by, and Kazuko, now living under her new identity as Shinobu Onodera, seemed to have settled into her new life in Kanazawa. A year had passed since she had murdered Atsuko, and she found herself working at a snack bar where she caught the attention of a regular customer, a married man who owned a confectionery shop. Their frequent interactions soon turned into an affair, and before long, the man divorced his wife to be with Kazuko.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is just everything. This is just messy. She had an affair and took somebody's husband? Why did she even... Nah, that's crazy.
They got married, though they never officially registered their marriage. Kazuko helped him rebuild his shop, and under her management, their business thrived. As she settled into this new life, Kazuko stayed in contact with her son. She eventually called him to come live with her in Kanazawa.
Oh my gosh, bro. I don't think I could take it no more. Bro, what do you mean you stayed? Like, bro, you cannot make a decision like that and be like, oh, I'm gonna just contact my son and, you know, try to get him to move in with me and everything. Nigga, are you serious, ho? You can't be serious. You think the cops was just like, it's been a year, we just go drop the case. Dead woman, we just go drop the case, fuck it. Bro, are you serious right now, bro? Are you serious right now, bro? What are we talking about?
Introducing him to her new husband as a relative's child. The husband, unaware of the truth, took the boy in and had him work as an apprentice in the confectionery shop.
Y'all caught already.
Over the years, however, he began to suspect that this relative's son was actually Kazuko's child. He noticed how close they were, but despite these suspicions, life went on relatively peacefully for 5 years.
Damn.
One day, the husband came across
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, once you get away with it for this long, which I feel like if you do something like murder, you should never feel like you got away with it until you pass away. But I feel like people get comfortable when they've been like when they done got away with something for 5+ years. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind 6 years at this point. After 6 years, she probably like, oh, I'm straight, nigga. But hell no, you're never straight if you done murdered somebody. Them cases never get closed.
Wanted poster of Kazuko Fukuda near his shop. He questioned Kazuko, asking if she had ever heard of this woman. Although this rattled her, Kazuko skillfully lied and managed to avoid suspicion, at least for the moment. But in February 1988, everything came crashing down. After years of evading capture, the police finally figured out that Kazuko was hiding in Kanazawa. They had received new information from her family, and they were closing in. However, Kazuko fled, leaving everything behind once again.
Bro, if you go flee this time, if you happen to possibly get away with it, you can't be bringing your son and talking to old people. This stupid hoe mess around and fuck around and be like, hey, let me contact my old husband and let's chop it up. Come on, bro.
After 5.5 years in hiding, she disappeared from Ishikawa Prefecture. Kazuko fled to Nagoya, adopting the name Kuramoto Kaoru and working as a cleaning lady. Despite the plastic surgery, her resemblance to her old self raised suspicions. Fearing exposure, she kept moving, switching jobs and identities.
And the crazy thing is, she wanted to live a lavish, rich life and killed somebody. And it's like, you can't even do that. You literally can't even do that. Every job this girl done got has not been no job that's gonna bring in a substantial amount of money. Every job that she done got is not gonna allow her to live the life that she wants, and she's on the run. She literally got the opposite life that she wanted, bro. She literally got the opposite of what she wanted. She would have been better staying in dead.
In May 1988, she left Nagoya, leaving a transient life for the next 8 years while staying in contact with her son.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's just finish the video, bro. She's done for.
Even reaching out when he got married. As the 15-year mark of her escape drew near, Kazuko Fukuda had already lived in more than 15 different places, constantly changing her identity. And
she don't give a hell about them other 3 kids. I'm hoping they not girls, bro, because that's going to make this worse. It seemed like she got a problem with men, bro.
Even altering her appearance through plastic surgery 7 times.
Damn.
She had evaded capture for nearly a decade and a half. But as the statute of limitations on her case was about to expire, Kazuko reemerged in Fukui, seemingly unshaken by the years of living as a fugitive. With less than a year left before her crimes would go unpunished, the Ehime Prefecture police made a historic move. For the first time in Japan, they offered a 1 million yen bounty for information leading to Kazuko's arrest.
Damn.
The case once again became a major focus for the media, thrusting Kazuko's story into the public eye. Yet, despite the mounting pressure, Kazuko appeared unfazed. Living under the alias Yukiko Nakamura, she frequented a local oden restaurant in Fukui, becoming a regular fixture there. The friendly, cheerful woman known as Yukiko charmed her fellow patrons with karaoke sessions and lively conversations. No one suspected that she was the notorious fugitive they had seen on TV. Not yet. Around the same time, Fuji TV's Nice Day program dedicated almost all its airtime to a special broadcast about Kazuko Fukuda, amplifying the public's awareness of the case.
Nah, she gotta get out of there.
The show repeatedly played a recording of Kazuko's voice.
Damn. Yeah, she should have been got up out of there, bro. She's tweaking.
One viewer, a 59-year-old man who was a regular customer at the oden shop, recognized the voice. It sounded just like Yukiko-chan, the woman who sang karaoke with him. He immediately reported his suspicions to the police.
Damn, they don't play. The whole family was reporting against her and everything.
Officers waited until July 29th to bring Kazuko in for voluntary questioning after she visited the restaurant once more. During the interrogation, Kazuko, casually drinking alcohol, refused to have her fingerprints taken.
Damn.
She immediately left the place and stopped visiting the store. Police then asked the restaurant's landlady to provide the bottle Kazuko had been drinking from.
Damn, you goofy. Dang, they got her ass. One step ahead. Why are you drinking alcohol in an investigation anyway? What the hell? Am I tripping? Why would you? That's the last thing I would want to do. That alcohol make them lips loose. I would not be drinking no type of alcohol, any degree. Not even enough to get me not even drunk. Like no alcohol in sight.
Immediately left the place and stopped visiting the store. Police then asked the restaurant's landlady to provide the bottle Kazuko had been drinking from and other items she had touched. From these items, they were able to lift her fingerprints, and their suspicions were confirmed.
Got her ass.
The prints were an exact match to those found on Atsuko Yasuoka's body all those years ago. It was Kazuko Fukuda. With just 23 days left before the statute of limitations expired, luck finally turned in the police's favor. Kazuko Fukuda emerged from hiding and was spotted by the oden shop owner, who casually invited her back to the restaurant. The next day, Kazuko returned, unaware the police were closing in.
Now you should have known
As
something
she
was
left, officers surrounded her. She was finally arrested in 1997, marking the end of her nearly 15 years of running. She was officially indicted for the murder of Atsuko Yasuoka on August 18th of that same year, just 11 hours before the statute of limitations expired. Kazuko Fukuda was sentenced to life imprisonment in May 1999 by the Takamatsu District Court. In one appeal, the defense argued that Kazuko had killed Atsuko out of passion, suggesting a romantic attraction between the two women in hopes of reducing her sentence. The courts rejected.
What? There's no way they thought that was gonna work. We shouldn't give her life because she killed her because she was in love. Nigga, what? How did that make sense, y'all?
The two women in hopes of reducing her sentence. The courts rejected the appeal, and in 2003, the Supreme Court upheld her life sentence.
Damn.
In one of her rare interviews, she was asked why she had returned to the oden shop, knowing full well she might get caught. Her response was telling. People who always knew the sunny side of the road will never understand the life of someone who has always lived in the shadows like me. In March 2005, at the age of 57, Kazuko Fukuda passed away from illness while still incarcerated.
Dang.
She spent 17 years in captivity before her death, and in her final moments, she expressed one last wish: to be remembered as Kazuko Fukuda, not by any of the aliases she had used during her years on the run. This case is not only remarkable because it was the first time a bounty had been placed on a woman's head in Japan, but also because of the nature of Kazuko's fugitive life. Even while on the run, she stayed in regular contact with her family and maintained a confident, almost brazen attitude.
Yeah, she was
When
tweaking.
the police searched her home, they discovered a calendar with August 19th marked in red, a symbol of her belief that she would evade capture until the statute of limitation expired.
Damn.
Her arrogance, combined with a long, drawn-out pursuit, captivated the public. But in the end, no matter how far she ran or how much she changed, the weight of her crimes eventually caught up with her.
She probably could have got away with it if she wasn't tweaking.
Though sometimes delayed, is rarely denied. That is all for today. Thanks for watching.
Dang. I ain't gonna lie, she probably could have got away for it if she wasn't tweaking. Like if she cut all contacts with family, if she actually, like I was saying that she probably could have left the country, but that might have been hard to do because the aliases she was using wasn't actual aliases. She would have had to get like a fake ID or some type of different ID or something to leave the country. I don't know. I still feel like she probably could have got away with it. She literally lasted into the 11 days before the statute of limitations would have got up. She could have just went out in the middle of nowhere in whatever country she was in, like small job, she could have got the plastic surgery, changed the name, contact with nobody, and got away with it. But she wanted to be bold and shit, goofy as hell. Even like she literally even went back after she got investigated. She went back to the same shop that she was just at. Like, that's crazy, bro. She could have got away with it, but she was tweaking, doing way too much.